Good evening to all the NEET aspirants 2026. Today we are going to deal with biomolecules. The topic is lipids. Before entering into the concept, let me give you a brief introduction about NEET World's special programs. For 11th standard students, you land on 2 Steps to Medicine, NEET World's 2 Steps to Medicine program, wherein you are having a fee, very minimal fee of 3333 per month, and to the students of 12th standard, you land on the platform of NEET World's 1 Step to Medicine of the minimal fee again 3333 per month. And lastly, Power Step to Medicine. Under this program, long term students will be landed. This is a unique program with 3333 per month fee again. So the facilities are provided, complete course lectures are provided both in offline and online mode. To know more about this, you can call us on to the given number, or you can directly visit our branch which is in Narayanguda, Hyderabad. Okay, so this is the best offer that we can provide from our institute to the students of all financial backgrounds. This is highly helpful, so make use of it. Yes, let's get started with the concept. Biomolecules, lipids concept we are going to start. What are lipids? Firstly, let me ask the question from our previous class, whether lipids land on acid soluble pool or acid insoluble pool. Whether lipids land on acid soluble pool or acid insoluble pool. Acid soluble or acid insoluble pool. I have said now in previous class. You were there. So it lands on the acid insoluble pool. Okay, lipids are in acid insoluble pool. Why they are placed in acid insoluble pool? Because its molecular weight is more than 800 Daltons? No. Is it 1000 Daltons? No. The molecular weight of lipids is less than 800 Daltons only, but still they were placed in acid insoluble pool. Why? Because lipids are the main components in the cell membrane, we all know. When we have crushed the cell membranes by mortar and pestle, when we are extracting for the acid soluble and insoluble pool, the cell membrane will get lysed and they will form these vesicles, and we all know that lipids are what? Water insoluble. So these vesicles which are insoluble in water are landing into what? Acid insoluble pool, but not because of their molecular weight. Okay, it is because of their water insolubility nature and the vesicles formation. Because of what? Cell membrane lysis. Remember that beta. Next, lipids are generally water insoluble, we know that, and lipids are of many types. First let us look into the classification of lipids beta. Classification of lipids. Lipids are majorly classified into, yes, lipids are majorly classified into simple lipids, yes, simple lipids, compound lipids or conjugated lipids, compound or conjugated lipids, and derived lipids, as you said. This is the primary classification of lipids based on the presence or absence of glycerol, lipids, and any other molecules also. So as such, simple lipids will just have what? Natural neutral fats, fatty acids and glycerols. In that also saturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids will come under what? Simple lipids. Okay, so what are included beta? Glycerol, fatty acids, saturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids, they are kept under simple lipids. Coming to compound or conjugated lipids, I have tabulated all the compound and conjugated lipids. We have what you know? Glycolipids, yes, lipoproteins, phospholipids, and chromoproteins. Chromoproteins. Fine, ma'am. So these are kept under what? Compound or conjugated lipids. Why? Along with the esters, okay, which has, you know, glycerols, fatty acids, and along with that it is also having other compounds. Okay, so it is also having like phosphate groups, some lipoproteins or some glucose units inside it. That is why they are placed under what? Compound or conjugated lipids. Lastly, derived lipids. Okay, these are derived either from simple lipids or compound lipids. For best example for this is steroids. Best example for steroids is what? Cholesterol. Cholesterol is also the component of lipid cell membrane in what? Animal cells. Okay, so this is the basic classification of lipid beta. Next, if you see, there could be simple fatty acids. Fatty acids will have what? A carboxyl group which is attached with R group. Okay, a carboxyl group which is attached with R group. This R group can have n number of carbon units. It can be, R group can be a methyl group, or it can be an ethyl group, or it can be 1 to 19 carbons. One best example of that long carbon chain is what? Palmitic acid, which has how many carbons beta? 16 carbons including carboxyl carbon. Including carboxyl carbon, it is how many? 16 carbons in the palmitic acid. Okay. Next is arachidonic acid, which has how many carbons? 20 carbons including carboxyl carbon. Okay, including this carboxyl carbon you can write, and here will be what? R group. Okay, including this carboxyl carbon, how many total in the arachidonic acid? 20. How many total in the palmitic acid? 16. Clear, right beta? Next, simple lipids. Simple lipids, as we have discussed, first is what? Neutral or true fats. This includes what? Esters of fatty acids with glycerol. They have esters of fatty acids with glycerol. They are called as what? Glycerides. They are called as glycerides. This glycerol molecule will have 3 carbons. Each will bear one hydroxyl group, and hence this is called as what? Trihydroxypropane. Here can you see ma? 3 carbon groups are there, and for each carbon there is one OH group. So it is simply called as what? According to IUPAC, it is called as what? Trihydroxypropane or glycerol, one and the same. Remember that. This glycerol, which is trihydroxypropane. Fatty acids could be saturated or unsaturated fatty acids. What is the primary difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty acids?
Number of bonds between carbon to carbon atoms.
Very good. If there are no double bonds in between carbon and carbon bonds, it is called as what? Saturated fatty acids. If there are double bonds or triple bonds, then you will call it as what? Unsaturated fatty acids. As simple as it is. So fatty acids are of 2 types. Saturated fatty acids, it includes what? Fatty acid molecule is an unbranched chain of carbon atoms. This will have what? Carboxyl group attached to an R group. This story we know already. Okay. Palmitic acid, arachidonic acid we have already learnt. Fine. Palmitic acid is having how many carbons?
Including 1 COH.
Arachidonic acid?
20 carbons including 1 carboxyl.
This will be the structure. Okay. One methyl group at the beginning, then 14 CH2 and then carboxyl group for palmitic acid. Same for the case of stearic acid, not arachidonic acid, stearic acid. Both palmitic acid and stearic acid comes under what? Saturated fatty acids. Okay. Next, unsaturated fatty acids. Unsaturated fatty acids we have learnt 1 or more double bonds will be there for sure. So here best examples for unsaturated fatty acids include oleic acid and linoleic acid. Okay, they include oleic acid and linoleic acid. This is the structural formula for that, and here you see many lipids have both glycerol and fatty acids. Here the fatty acids are found esterified with glycerol. Okay, so they can be monoglycerides, diglycerides and triglycerides like this. Okay, they are esterified with what? Glycerol. Many lipids have both, here fatty acids are esterified with glycerol. So here esterification means what? Esterification is a bond formed between what? Carboxyl group and an alcohol. Okay, ester group is a bond formed between carboxyl group and an alcohol, OH group. okay, and here dehydration is happening. Can you see? Water is being removed, and this is how ester bond is formed. As such, water is being released, one glycerol, this is trihydroxypropane attached with how many fatty acids? 3 fatty acids. So, on total, because of the ester bond, what is formed? Triglycerides are formed. And how many water molecules will be released beta? From each one water molecule. So, 3 water molecules will be released out. Have you understood how the bond is happening between carboxyl group and OH group? Okay. So, here you see ma, 1 glycerol plus 2 fatty acids, diglycerides we will call it as. 1 glycerol with 1 fatty acid we will call it as what ma? Monoglycerides. Clear na? Understood right beta? Next. Based on the melting point, again they are further classified as fats or oils based on the melting point. Fats have high melting point and they remain as solids at room temperature. Fine. For example, butter and ghee. Oils will have low melting point and they remain as liquids or oil at the room temperature. So, again based on the melting point, they are again classified. Most of the solid type are what? Saturated fatty acids. Okay. This liquid type will be what? Unsaturated fatty acids. Okay. Based on the bond stabilization also melting point is given here. Okay. Next we will look into what is conjugated lipids ma. First we will see conjugated or compound lipids, then we will move on to the derived lipids. So, here you see conjugated or compound lipids. First is phospholipids. Phospholipids are main components of what? Cell membrane. What type of? We know from 1 minute in fluid mosaic model, what cell we have taken? What cell? Erythrocyte or RBC to prove what? Fluid mosaic model by Singer and Nicholson. We know that, right? So, from the erythrocyte of a mammalian cell, okay, what is the composition of lipids and proteins? Lipid composition will be 48%, protein composition will be 52%. This we know, no? Yes. So, from this lipids, what is the main composition? Phospholipids. And one of the best examples of phospholipids is what? Lecithin. Lecithin is one of the best example of phospholipids. Here you see ma, glycerol or other alcohol and 2 fatty acids. This is having phosphate group. Okay. Choline is having what? Nitrogen group. These are all included in what? Fatty acids. What are the components of phospholipids? Phospholipid will include glycerol. Yes. Glycerol, it includes glycerol, 2 fatty acids. Along with glycerol there can be an alcohol, definitely phosphate group, and choline, which is nitrogen containing group, is also present. So, how many components are present? That 1 or this may be present, 2 and 3. 3 components are present, that is why it is kept under compound or conjugated lipids. Here you see my functions. What are the main functions of phospholipids? They form cell membranes, amphipathic molecules with polar heads and non-polar tail. Okay. So, when phospholipid is the main composition and they form amphipathic molecules. What is amphipathic molecule? A single molecule with both hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Those are called as what? Amphipathic molecules. Remember that, that is very important. So, here in the lipid bilayer, from this entire aqueous environment outside is completely aqueous environment, right? And this is non-polar. Tail is what? Non-polar. And this is what? Hydrophilic. Non-polar. And this is what? Hydrophobic, polar. Polar, hydrophobic.
What's the difference between hydrophobic and polar?
I will say. For example, water molecule. Water molecule is polar beta. Okay. But here this is non-polar. So, water molecule cannot enter into the cell membrane, or it, for example, this is the cell and this is the bilayer. This is the aqueous environment. Any molecule to enter inside this non-polar is what? Non-polar or hydrophobic we will call it as, Non-polar tail is hydrophobic. Non-polar tail is hydrophobic. Phobic means what? Phobia. It has fear in attaching with water. Okay. This polar head is what? Hydrophilic.
Water loving.
Yes, water loving. So this will allow it, and this is protecting the hydrophilic tail from the aqueous environment. This non-polar hydrophilic tail is protected from the aqueous environment by what? Polar hydrophilic head. Remember ma, easy right? Non-polar hydrophobic tail is protected from the aqueous environment by what? Hydrophilic polar head. Clear right? So here this combinedly is forming, we are calling this molecule as what? Amphipathic molecule. Clear right? Next. You see glycolipids. Glycolipids, they are having what components? Fatty acids, alcohol. This together we can call it as what? Sphingosine. Sphingosine. And along with this you will have sugar molecules. Sugar molecule can be glucose or galactose. Okay, so here it is having how many components? 3 components. These are mainly present in nervous tissue. Okay, especially in the myelin sheath of nerve fibers. Okay, so here you will be having, right, here myelin sheath will be present. In this myelin sheath of nerve fibers, what is present? Glycolipids are present outside. These are present in outside this. Okay. Myelin sheath of nerve fibers and chloroplast of the outer membrane. Outer chloroplast membrane also glycolipids are present. Sugars replace one fatty acid here. Okay, sugars will replace one fatty acid. So these are the functions and this is the component. Lipoproteins. Lipoproteins, if you look into components include what? Lipids, phospholipids and proteins. Okay, main function of it will include structural components of the membranes and transport of lipids into the blood. These are the what? Functions of it. Fine. Clear with all the compound or conjugated lipids, right ma? So yeah, here you can see fatty acid. What is this fatty acid? Palmitic fatty acid. Along with carboxyl group, how many are present? How many carbons are present? 16 carbons are present. Glycerol, this is according to IUPAC, what you will call it as?
3-hydroxypropane.
Yes, trihydroxypropane. This is what? Triglyceride with how many R groups? R1, 2 and R3 groups. This you look into phospholipid, lecithin. Okay, and this is what? Cholesterol. Here we didn't complete the derived lipids yet. Here are the derived lipids or steroids. Okay, one of the best examples of derived lipids is what? Steroids. Here the steroids do not contain fatty acids but are included in lipids because they have some fat like properties. Okay, they are not having fatty acids but they are having some fat like properties, that is why they are included under what? Lipids. The most common steroids are what?
Sterols.
Yes, most common steroids are sterols and the most common or best example of sterol is what?
Cholesterol.
That's it. Okay, best example of sterol is cholesterol. Cholesterol is most abundant steroid. Okay, this is the most abundant steroid in animal tissues, and food rich in animal fats will contain what? Cholesterol. Food which is rich in animal fats, this will contain cholesterol. It is also synthesized in the liver. Cholesterol is synthesized in liver. Cholesterol is an essential component of what? Animal plasma membrane or cell membrane. Remember, all these points are important. Okay. Lastly, this will be the structure of what? Cholesterol. Once I will give you 1 minute, look into all the structures properly and all the synonyms also. What we have discussed today? Lipids, which are of 3 types: simple lipids, conjugated or compound lipids, and steroids or derived lipids.
Simple again classified into 2 types.
Neutral fats neutral fats, fatty acids again into saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids. Best examples for saturated fatty acids? Stearic acid, palmitic acid. Yeah, unsaturated fatty acids examples, oleic acid, linoleic acid. Okay, and then after that conjugated or compound lipids, what did we learn, beta?
Compound lipids, phospholipids, glycolipids, lipoproteins.
Yes, phospholipids, glycolipids, lipoproteins and chromoproteins as well. Yes, so for 4 we have learnt. And then from derived lipids, what did we learn?
Derived lipids.
Cholesterol. Steroids, common steroids are what? Sterols. Best example for sterols is cholesterol. Do they have fatty acids?
No.
No, but they show some fat-like properties. Cholesterol will be a component of what plasma membrane? Animal plasma membrane. That's it. Okay. So yes, I'd like to end this session on once again briefing you about the courses of NEET World. That for NEET World's 2 Step to Medicine, 11th class students will be landing on this. For NEET World's 1 Step to Medicine, 12th standard students. NEET World's Power Step to Medicine is for long term students. For everything, for any of the special program, the course per month fee is 3333. Complete materials, lecture contents are available with this fee only. Okay. So this will be given completely both in offline and online mode. To know more about these courses, you can call on to the given number or directly visit our branch. And one last important point, where NEET World will be the best choice for public platform as well. Whoever want to learn self-study through the NEET World, okay, whoever want to opt for self-study with the help of NEET World freely, NEET World's Telegram group will be your best choice, beta. Wherein in this Telegram group, you will be having daily quizzes of biology, chemistry, physics and maths for JEE main students also. And then live class sessions, schedules will be updated, wherein live class schedule, we are going with the 100 most important concepts for all subjects targeting NEET 2026, and we have planned 1000 questionnaire session series which are parallelly happening along with 100 days concepts. Free resources will be provided for online mode, and one-on-one doubt solving with faculties will be available in this Telegram group. So you can call us on to the given number, or you can directly get into the Telegram channel by scanning this QR code. Okay. Who's this? Please repeat. What do you want me to repeat, ma? Any course or this group or any part of the concepts? Please specify. Yeah. So yes, with this I would like to end this session and we'll meet tomorrow again. Thank you.